things we do with the sales influence programs, not only do we talk about selling tactics and using influence programs, but how do you put them in a product pitch so that every time you're showing something, there's actually a hook involved. And what I'm trying to do is draw you in to my product space. Ernest Dichter, the famous advertising executive, said this, that in order to motivate people to buy, we have to make them constructively discontent. And I said, that's such a cool phrase. What does he mean by that? Let me give you an example. You remember back in the day when you had 8 tracks? Who's with me? Everybody else is going, oh, dude, I'm not raising my hand on that one. We had 8 tracks, right? And we were all happy with 8 tracks. So somebody says, look, we can make it what? Smaller. So now we were discontent with our 8 tracks when we went over to the what? The cassette, right? We're all happy with the cassette. And then they came out with the what? The CD. Now, the problem with the CD was that we weren't ready to make that investment. Cassette, CD, who cares? They're almost the same size, so to speak, right? But then the marketing executives went to work on your brain. And this is what they said. They introduced a new word to you, high fidelity. And you didn't know what that was. So they went ahead and defined it for you. They said, you know what high fidelity is? Go back and listen to your tape. Do you hear that sound? You won't hear that on the CD. Now, you never heard that hiss until somebody what? Pointed it out. Now you're like, man, I don't like that hiss. It's bothering me. Now you're what? Constructively discontent. What I want to do is not look at how to sell to people, but understand why people buy. And if I understand why they buy and how they make a buying decision, I say, well, maybe I'll stand a better chance of selling them. Customers want 3 things. They want, 1, minimize their risk. If I'm selling you something, can you minimize my risk? Can you make sure that I'm getting the best deal possible? And tell me that you're looking out for me. 2nd, enhance my competitive edge. In other words, by that I mean, if by buying this, am I going to get an edge? Now, it works everywhere. If you're selling to a corporation, if I buy this product, Victor, is this going to give me an edge in the market? Now, if I'm selling some type of multi-level marketing product, and let's say it's some type of diet supplement, Victor, tell me that by buying this, I will look thinner than everybody else. You get the idea? You're selling differently. The last one is help customers achieve their goals. That's what they want, folks. That's what studies have shown. They want those 3 things. 1, are you looking out for me? Let me put it in simple Chicago terms. I need to know, are you looking out for me? Number 2, give me the competitive edge. Are you hooking me up? Right? The last one, help customers achieve their goal. And if I need your help, you got my back. Am I right? It's very simple, folks. The reason people don't like sales is because they failed at it. Why did they fail? Because their training basically wasn't up to par. It isn't them that's failing, it's the training systems that are failing them, which is why I always say upgrade your training or downgrade your expectations. It's that simple. Dialing for dollars, you know what that is. You get on the phone and you start making them phone calls because they told you, law of averages, call, 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 call. You got to make your sales, right? Here was the study done. Did you know that 2% of sales are made on the first call? Did you know that 3% of sales are made on the second call? Did you know that 5% are made on the third call, 10% are made on the fourth call, and 80% of the sales are made on the 5th phone call? Think about that. 80% of the deals are closed on the what? 5th phone call. So for some of you who called somebody one time and said, man, why didn't they call me back? Well, look up there. Because you got to keep what? Calling. Now, when you look at that number right there, is that good news or bad news? How many say it's good news? How many say it's bad news? How many refuse to participate no matter what I say? All right. Sales is you work for a company, you sell their product because you believe in that product. You believe in that product so much so that when you present it to your customers, what you're offering them is a way for them to be successful. And if they're successful and they buy, you also win. It's a triple win. The buyer wins, the salesperson wins, and the company whose product you're selling also wins. That's sales. 80% of all new sales are made on the 5th call. How many people actually make that 5th call, do you think? Let's go check it out. Did you know that 48% of the people quit on the first phone call after the first one? Did you know that another 25 quit after the second? Did you know that another 12 quit after the 3rd phone call? Let me stop right there. You add these 3 numbers up right here. If my numbers are correct, that's 85%. 85% of the people, no, heck, go back. 50% of the people almost quit after the first phone call. Is that good news or bad news? Great news! Because now you know that just by making the 2nd phone call, you're one up on everybody else.